So hi and welcome to my channel, and in case you don't know, my name is Lucky. So today I wanted to come with a life update video. 2018 has come to a close. I just want to talk about it because I've undergone such a huge haul this year that it's going to definitely affect my channel, and I want to post more YouTube videos all about this. So let's just talk about what the heck has been going on. So for those who don't know, I am a graduate student. I'm getting a Master's of Arts in Biology. I initially went to college. I wanted to be a doctor. I knew I wanted to be a doctor from a pretty young age. And I was pre-med in undergrad. When I graduated, my GPA was not that stellar at all. I had a 3.3 GPA, and I was unhappy with that, and I wanted to do something better. So I tried a post-bac year. That year I got severely depressed, and it was awful for me personally. I just was going through kind of a midlife crisis during that time period. And then I decided to enroll in a graduate program, and that's what I've been doing. And so yeah, and I still was on that whole path of going to medical school. If you want to find out more about my pre-med story and everything, please feel free to check out the video. I'll post it in the cards above. I just want to go over a bit of the year to kind of put things in perspective. Currently, right now, I am still a graduate student. I actually just finished my 4th semester of grad school, and we're going to talk about why I'm still a graduate student in a second. But yeah, I'm actually right now, I'm 4 credits shy of graduating. I was supposed to graduate last semester, or the semester that just finished up in December. I was supposed to graduate this semester. However, I ended up dropping a class. It was a bit too much for me, the workload, so I dropped the class, and that put me 4 credits shy of graduating. So I'm just going to go back to school in January and finish up those 4 credits, and then I'll have my degree. And school has honestly been going very well. This semester I did get a B+. So, you know, I was taking 2 classes this semester. I got a B+ and I got an A. My cumulative GPA is not a 4.0. My cumulative is a 3.8. In January 2018, that was my 3rd semester of grad school, and I actually took 9 credits. That semester lasted from January 2018 to May, and that semester was the hardest semester I ever had in my life, but I did really well. I got a 4.0 that semester, so the semester before this one that just finished up. And another thing, in 2018, so like I said, I was pre-med in undergrad, and I've remained a non-traditional pre-med in grad school. And I still had not taken the MCAT. I had never taken the MCAT before. I did attempt to take the MCAT 3 times, and I never took it any of those 3 times. The first time I signed up for the MCAT, I was supposed to take the test, and I think this was like in 2015 or something like that. I was supposed to take the test, and I freaked out and never showed up. So yeah, and then the second time I signed up for the test again, and I was supposed to take the test, and I pushed it back. And then the 3rd time, I think I was supposed to take the test again, and I pushed it back again. So I finally took the MCAT in 2018, and I took it while I was in grad school, and that was difficult. The MCAT for me was very challenging. It was challenging, and it wasn't so much the content that was challenging for me. It was a real mental roller coaster for me. Staying calm, mind over matter, that was very hard for me. I was always stressed. I was always anxious. I just didn't think I was good enough. But I took the MCAT on April 9th, 2018, and I was shooting for a 5.10. At least a 5.10 is what I wanted. When I got my score back, I did not get a 5.10. I just got a couple hairs over a 500. And I wasn't devastated because I kept getting the same score over and over again, and that's the score that I ended up getting on the MCAT. And like I said, it was just shy of 500, nothing, you know, great. And then what was really crazy was that I did pretty okay on all my sections except cars. I did terrible on cars. I did really bad on cars. I was comfortable with my score on Chem Phys. I was comfortable with my Psych Soc. I was a little disappointed in biology. I thought I did better in biology, but it was okay. I mean, they were all, you know, higher than average per se, but my cars was, ooh, it was bad. So but yeah, I took the MCAT April 9th, and after I took the MCAT, I was still in school during that time, and I was like, maybe I'll retake. So I said, well, once I'm done with school, I'm going to retake the MCAT. And as soon as I finished the semester, which my semester ended May 1st, May 2nd, I was on a plane. I went to Barbados with my mom, and then I was like, when I come back from Barbados, I'm going to start studying for the MCAT. Came back from Barbados, and I was like, I don't want to do this again. Like, it's like I just couldn't put myself to do it again. And so I decided that I was going to not retake the MCAT over the summer, and instead I was just going to apply with the MCAT score that I had. And that is what I actually did. I applied to medical school this year. Yay! So that is the big thing that I've done this year. I actually applied to med school. I had more than enough credits. My grad school credits to count as a new GPA, and I was just a couple hairs short of getting done with my grad program. So I was like, let's go, let's do this. I was very, 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 very proud and comfortable with the extracurriculars that I had. I think I mentioned this in like my last vlog that I did when I attempted to do a grad school vlog. I didn't do research, but I did work in patient care. I worked as a CNA. I also had some kind of leadership positions in some volunteer organizations, and I did a lot of volunteering that was really near and dear to my heart. And I also had the wonderful opportunity to shadow some physicians, and so all of those things kind of combined together. And I also have like some quirky stuff about me that I was really, really proud to put in my application, and all of those things together, they just, to me, solidified that it was time for me to apply to med school. You know, I didn't want to wait on being perfect. I didn't want, you know, in my mind, I was happy with what I had in regards to my extracurriculars. I was really happy with my GPA, my grad school GPA. I feel like it was a huge, you know, turnover compared to my undergrad GPA. And so I was like, let's do it, let's go. And so I submitted my med school applications. I actually did ACOMAS, which is the DO application, and I did AMCAS, which is the MD application. So I applied to both MD and DO schools. I'll annotate how many schools I actually applied to in the description bar below. I did something silly, and I would highly recommend nobody do this if you can't afford applying to medical school. Definitely know that applying to medical school is expensive, and I didn't even really consider how expensive it actually is. I didn't have fee assistance. I didn't apply for fee assistance, and I hate that I didn't do that because I'm paying off my debt right now, you know. I'm paying off debt right now for actually paying for my med school applications. So if you don't have a couple $1,000s to just throw out there and apply to med school with, I would highly suggest that you at least apply to fee assistance. Even if you don't get it, at least you tried, because it is very expensive. Not only is it expensive, you know, you have to think about overall all the costs. So not only is it expensive, you know, paying for application fees, primary application fees, but then secondary fees, and then if you get interviews, you know, travel costs and all this stuff, it is so expensive. And I was very adamant about having everything in early. So I submitted my AACOMAS, which is the DO application. I submitted that on like June 7th. I think it opened like May 3rd this year. I submitted it June 7th. That's when I had everything done and all my stuff compiled. So I was like, boom, send. And then I sent out my AMCAS, I think June 8th. So I tried to submit, and AMCAS opened up June 1st. So I was like, I'm doing this early, getting everything sent out early. And I would highly suggest, if you're going to apply to medical school, do everything as early as you can. But I felt like I submitted a really good application, or I submitted one of the best applications I could submit in that time frame. You know, I wasn't rushed. I started everything early. So yeah, I would say definitely do things early. But you want to submit the highest quality application that you can. I submitted my applications, like I said, in June 2018. In July 2018, that's when secondaries rolled in. I actually got secondaries from every school that I applied to. Because it was so expensive for me to send out my primary applications, I decided to reduce the amount of secondaries that I sent out. In my experience, my secondaries ranged from $50, that was the cheapest secondary that I sent out, to $100. So I think that's something that everyone should really consider when applying to medical school. If you're paying out of pocket, not only do you have to pay those primary fees, application fees for sending out your AMCAS or your AACOMAS, but then you have to send in secondary fees when you receive the secondaries from the universities that you want to attend or that you're interested in. And so to cut the cost of my application fees, I was like, I'm only going to send out a couple of secondaries, and that's what I did. I only sent out 4 secondaries. Another thing, I was really adamant about attending a medical school in state, so I only sent out, so of those 4 secondaries that I sent out, 3 of the schools were in-state schools and 1 of the schools was an out-of-state school. And then 2 of the schools were MD schools, and then 2 of the schools were DO schools. So 1 of the DO schools was an out-of-state DO school, and I paid for their secondary fee. And they asked me to send in another letter of recommendation, and I was like, nope, not gonna do it. I didn't want to, so I didn't. So that DO school, they didn't process my application further because I didn't send them another letter of recommendation. So that application fee, all that was just thrown out. So I decided to take a real gamble, and I, you know, really honestly only had 3 processed secondaries from in-state schools. And so yeah, that's what I did. I live in Michigan and I wanted to stay in state, and so the 3 schools that actually did process my application, those were all Michigan schools. I sent out my secondaries in July, and I received my first interview invite in July. Actually, the end of July, I think it was like July 21st, I received my first interview invite. And as I mentioned, I applied to both MD and DO schools. And I also, out of the 3 secondaries, or the 3 schools that I was interested in, I did rank them. So the first school that I got an interview invite from was Michigan State School of Osteopathic Medicine, or better known as MSU-COM. I shadowed quite a few physicians who went to MSU-COM. I was familiar with MSU-COM. I loved the idea of OMM, Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine. So I was really excited about that. For me, MSU-COM ranked as my number 2 school. And like I said, I received my interview invite like the 24th of July. I went on my interview the 31st of August, and I heard back from them September 5th, and I have received my first medical school acceptance. So, okay, I'm going to let you know right now, I'm probably going to get really emotional during this video. If so, pay me no attention. It's just that I'm, you know, this has been a whirlwind of a journey for me, and I was just so happy. So I did receive my first medical school acceptance. I knew I was going to go to med school on on like September 5th. So by September, I had already received my first med school acceptance. I've received another interview invite from my number 3 school, and that was Central Michigan University. For me personally, I'm a Detroiter, so I'm an urbanite. I love urban environments, and I was like, you know, I had heard good things about Central, and I was like, you know, I'll go up there and see if I like it. And when I went up there for my interview, which I think was in October, it was like the second interview day that they had. I fell in love. I fell in love with the school. I loved the whole aspect that they had with kind of serving underserved communities. You know, of course, because Central, if you don't know, Central is in Mount Pleasant, and Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and that's a rural community. And I absolutely adored how the school was really adamant about serving these communities. However, for me, the thing that kind of and then another thing about Central, because I initially came in there and I was like, when I came up to Central, I had never been there. I love the campus. I thought, you know, the facilities, the school itself, like their medical school, is beautiful. For me, it's a nice, small knit kind of campus, or the medical campus is nice and small. Another thing, I really liked their student body. The people that I was able to interact with, I liked them. What else did I like about Central? Oh, and I love the fact that even though like I've never been away to school, I always stayed in like the Metro Detroit area to go to school. I love the fact that it was kind of remote in a sense. Like, you know, it was like not distracting, you know, in Central. That's how I thought about it. So I liked all those aspects of the school. Yeah, and I just fell in love with it. And then like probably 3 days after I interviewed, I received a call from them, and I actually got into Central too. So I had 2 medical school acceptances, and I was ecstatic. And by this time it was like October, and so I had already received 2 medical school acceptances. As I said, I only sent out 3 secondaries, so I was just waiting on one more school to hit me up, and that was my number 1 choice. And lo and behold, come late October, I received an interview invite from that 3rd school, my top choice. And I interviewed at my top choice on November 11th, and then I heard back from them December 14th. I was just checking my email randomly, and I got into my top choice medical school. See, I told you I'm gonna cry. By December, by the middle of December, I had already finalized my decision, and I am going to be a medical student. And again, excuse me for the tears, but I'm so happy. But I received admittance to my top medical school choice, and for me personally, my top choice was Wayne State University. And I love Wayne State. I went to Wayne State for undergrad. I go there now for grad school. And I will be going to medical school at Wayne State University. So yeah, I actually got into medical school, and surprisingly enough, I got into my top choice. And like I said, 2018 has been such a good year for me. And like, you know, when you go through the process of applying to med school, like I said, not only is it expensive, but it's time consuming, it's nerve-wracking, you know, the waiting for the schools. Like for my top choice, I actually had to wait a month to hear back from them. It was hard, you know, it's hard to wait a month. And you know, like I said, the process of applying, I started applying, really honestly gathering all my materials and everything I needed, you know, in like January of this year, you know, whether it be my letters of recommendation and, you know, wrapping up, you know, my volunteer hours and, you know, all these things. I mean, I started, you know, of course you start all these things long before you even apply or submit your applications. And yeah, like I can't even tell you how happy I am to know that I'll be attending medical school. And not only that, but I'll be going to the school of my dreams, you know. To kind of talk about why I chose Wayne State, or why I wanted to go to Wayne State. Like I mentioned, I really want to serve underserved populations. And so for me personally, I really want to be an urban physician. I want to be a physician who practices in the city of Detroit. And in particular, I want to work with minority communities. Excuse me. So, yeah, I feel like this school will really help me to become the physician that I really dream of being, okay? I'm happy. I'm so happy. That's why I keep crying. And even now, I still, you know, it's so unbelievable to me that I'll be going to med school. You know, I've been trying for so long to do this. And it's crazy. It means so much to me that I am going to become a physician. I actually don't start med school until July. So, okay. So now that it's all, you know, so now that I'm going to be a medical student, I am definitely going to be profiling this on my YouTube channel. I intend to create videos because I really want to showcase what it's truly like to go through this process. One of my small regrets is that I didn't showcase what it's like to be a grad student. So I'm gonna post more videos on grad school during this last semester that I have to finish up these 4 credits. But because I think it's so important to see kind of a non-sugar-coated view of what this is like, and I want to showcase that on my YouTube channel. I also want to encourage anyone out there who is a non-traditional student like myself, that you too, like, if I can do it, we all can go to medical school. Excuse me, I gotta take these glasses off. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I had to take my glasses off because I keep crying and and they're getting spotted and I can't see through them. But anyways, I just want to encourage anyone out there, you know, that's pretty much the reason why I want to continue posting on YouTube, is because of people have been sending me such nice comments and, you know, saying that my journey reminds them of themselves. And so I just want to encourage anyone out there who is going through this same little struggle that, hey, if I can do it, you can too. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We can make it to med school too, you know. The people who don't go straight through to med school, or who have some kinks in the road, you know. And also, of course, I want to showcase that anybody can be a physician, you know. You don't have to be the quintessential look or the quintessential, you know, person, or you don't have to be perfect to be a medical student. You too can be a medical student if it's something you really want. And I really hope to showcase that on my YouTube channel. In January, I'm going to be going back to school, finishing up my master's degree, that one little class that I'm going to be taking. So grad school will be done for me in around April. And then after April, I'll have May and June to myself. I start medical school in July. So yeah, I definitely am going to showcase what this entire journey is going to be like, as much as I possibly can. I also want to say, you know, I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to be able to study medicine. I am so thankful and just grateful to everyone who has helped me throughout this process, and you know, who has just encouraged me and to keep going. And I am just so happy, and I am just so incredibly humbled and just grateful. You know, I literally can't say anything other than I'm just grateful that I'll be able to start, that I have the I'm just so grateful that I have the opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do, and that is to pursue my dreams of becoming a doctor. And not only that, but it's just surreal to me that I'll be able to do those things and do them at the university that I think will really help me to hone my skills and, you know, be the doctor that I truly, truly want to be. So I'm just so thankful, so humbled, so grateful, and yeah, just excited and ready to start the process. And so yeah, so that is about it. So that is what's been going on with me. Come January, I'm trudging myself back up to school and gonna finish this master's degree. And yeah, that's about it. And I'm gonna just say this also. I was thinking, because I had gotten into med school, I was like, well, maybe I don't have to finish my degree. And I have an incredible advisor, and she was like, you're just 4 credits shy of this degree, girl, get it. And so I was like, okay, so that's why I'm finishing it up, to have it, to say that I finished, and to, you know, really honestly, like truly, you know, finish something that I started. So yeah, that's it. But thank you so much for watching, and I am definitely going to be posting more about this extremely exciting journey that I'm going to be undertaking. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for watching, and again, God bless everybody out there. If you are going through this struggle, please, you can make it, you can do it, you got this. And I hope everyone has a wonderful new year, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.